every week. Catch it freshest on your TV. Field level football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera action when you see the team. Pick 6 touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day and I just got the call. Reduction over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball.
Field level family, we back for another one. I'm Pat, that's Quan, that's TT. We here once again, man. What a great day it is, man. It's Sunday night. What is this? August 22nd, 8 p.m. We got on a little bit later tonight, y'all, because we wanted to make sure we got to the end of that 49ers game. That way we can have a whole lot to talk about. And I'm sitting back relaxing. I'm at the new house tonight. I'm working off of a personal hotspot, so y'all forgive me if it's any type of issues within the stream. But Quan, CT, what's going on with my guys tonight?
Oh, we feeling good, man. We good. We blessed and highly favored. Feeling great. How about you, C?
I'm good, man. A lot of activities this weekend, but I'm all good, man. Ready to rock and ready to talk about some ball. And congrats on the new spot, Pat.
Yes, congrats. Congrats.
A lot happening. Yeah, you know, got a couple of books. If you ever need to read some, holler at me. A lot has went down this week, man. A lot of transpired. We know that a lot of these guys had the joint practices this week. You had the 49ers and the Chargers. I believe it was Dallas and the Rams.
No, Raiders and Rams.
No.
Raiders and Rams. It was Dallas and
Dallas played the Texans.
Dallas and Texas. So it was a couple of different joint practices today or this week. A lot occurred, but a lot of excitement, Quan. A lot of excitement happened on the field level Instagram this week. You made a post about the Baltimore Ravens. There was a Ravens fan that hopped on. I hopped on and had a couple comments. I thought I was talking smart. I thought I had an intelligent take, but I got called a clown boy, bro.
Clown boy.
I got called a clown boy, man. What's going on with my guy Greg? Happy to have you on tonight. Yeah, man, I got called a clown boy. Can you kind of paint this picture a little bit, Quan, about what happened and what occurred?
Yeah, we jumping right in. So, field level family. This is why we tell y'all to follow us on all of our socials, because now that football season is back, a lot of chirping going on between the family. And what happened was we made a post about, will the Ravens make the playoffs this season? We thought it was a good post because everybody in their division is getting better.
Right.
For the Steelers, their main thing is they're just getting healthy. If Big Ben drops some pounds, he looking like he turned back the hands of time at least a couple years. So we thought it was a good question. Apparently, one of our followers didn't think so, and he must have watched our show back, last week, because you was heavy on the Browns winning the division.
Right.
He did not like that. Called you a clown boy, and it was all fun. It was all fun and fun and dandy. But I don't think our guy Pat here takes too kindly.
I don't. So hopefully he watches this episode, and let me just get to a place where I can expound upon what I was saying, and you guys give me your take. I'm fine with being wrong. I'm fine with not having a smart take. I think it was pretty intelligent, but let me just get you guys' opinion on it. So last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers went 12-4.
12.
Right? Won the division at 12-4. Cleveland and Baltimore both went 11-5. Right? In my personal opinion, and I think that last year was the first time that all three of those teams made the playoffs, if I'm correct.
Yeah, probably ever.
Yeah, from one division, yeah.
Yeah, all three of those teams from one division made the playoffs. Here goes my take, right? I said that Baltimore probably won't be the team to make it this year. If that same scenario rides and becomes true, I feel like personally, and I told this guy that I don't even know his name. Go on the field level Instagram, and you can go to that Baltimore Ravens post and see what was going on there. But my statement was basically this: this offseason, and he started talking about practice. I don't know what he's talking about. But this offseason, the Cleveland Browns got better. They got better on paper. They're going to get Odell back, right? They had a solid draft. That defensive line ain't nothing to play with Myles Garrett and the boys. They have a solid team. Nick Chubb returns. Kareem Hunt returns. They have a really solid offense there. You got Jarvis Landry. Like I said, you got ODB. You got guys back there that can make some plays, right? That secondary is improved. I didn't see Baltimore make a lot of strides this offseason. They're struggling in the receiving room. Guys can't stay healthy. Lamar's going to have to do a lot of that work. He's going to have to do a lot of that grunt work. The defense is cool, but they're not that same defense that we're used to Baltimore having, over the last 15 years, let's say. So it begs me to get to a place where I'm like, okay, if Big Ben is healthy, comes out and plays decent, I got Pittsburgh and Cleveland flip a coin who wins the division. Outside of that, maybe one of those teams will make that wild card spot, right? Well, bang, here we go. The Chargers got better. The Chargers is a team that's on the uptick. They get Derwin James back, which is huge for that defense.
Huge.
Absolutely.
Huge for that defense. Then you have a team like, the Indianapolis Colts, the Tennessee Titans, who are in the same division. Word came down today, Carson Wentz is back at practice on Monday.
And Quentin Nelson.
So the Colts and that Colts defense ain't nothing to play with. Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner, and them boys don't play with that Colts defense. Carson Wentz is a quarterback that can make plays. So with that being said, it is not asinine to think the Baltimore Ravens could potentially miss the playoffs.
Also, shout out to our boy, to our brother from another Chris. He definitely said you had a bad take.
He did. He said I had a bad take. But
Chris,
what has Baltimore done this offseason? It gets me to a place where I'm like, in that division, where Cleveland is on the rise, Pittsburgh is going to be there. What have they done this offseason to say, bang, lock for the playoffs?
So basically, the only thing that they've done is traded their right tackle, Orlando Brown, essentially for Sammy Watkins, because they switched teams.
Essentially, yep. And they everything they did to get better, they got better on paper. They got better in potential. Like Rashad Bateman, he's a rookie. He's good, but we haven't seen it yet.
At least they got one. I'm happy they got a receiver. It's been a long time.
And he went to Minnesota. We'll see.
No, for sure. They got him, and they got Tylan Wallace, who would have been a top receiver, but he had an injury.
From Oklahoma State.
Right. So
Okay.
I think everything they did to get better is in potential. Right. Sammy Watkins, potentially, if he doesn't get hurt. Those two rookies, potentially, we haven't seen them yet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we don't know.
And that's all I was saying. So if you get to a place where you're like, hey, are the Baltimore Ravens a lock for the playoffs? I can't say that.
That's fair.
No.
I can't say that. And I don't think I'm ludicrous in saying that there's a chance they could not make the playoffs.
No, I agree with you.
That's a good division overall.
What does Greg say? Greg says they're hoping that their new offensive style is better with the pass game this year. We'll see.
It needs to be.
We'll see.
Hey, well, look, the passing game and the scheme, I agree with Greg. The new scheme, maybe the new kind of offense, if they open it up, yeah, that's one thing. But you got to have the passer to get it there consistently. And to me, in my eyes, it's remained to be seen how well Lamar can deliver the ball outside the numbers consistently. I think anything, numbers in, hashes, all of that, he's great. But outside, we haven't seen it yet. So it remains a lot to be seen. And might I add, feel of a family, I look about 10 years younger. I got the beard cut down, you know what I'm saying? I went back to the baldy. Let me just add that in there, you know what I'm saying?
Out there looking like Shaft.
Looking like Shaft, though. Looking like a milk dud.
When you're a barber, it's hard to get a cut, man. I just gotta put that out there, man. I'm out here tough.
Because you don't trust everybody.
Why?
You don't trust everybody.
Why is it hard though?
One, I don't like cutting my own hair. Don't feel like it. I'm tired.
But you're good at it.
Yeah, we'll see. I leave tonight at midnight. I got a midnight flight, so I got to get I don't know. It ain't happening. Throw a hat on. So You know,
I feel you.
making my way to New Orleans tonight to go check out the Saints and the Jags on Monday
Yes,
Night
sir.
Football.
Yes, sir.
So seeing how that is, let's talk about some football though. Let's get into some stuff that we've seen either today, yesterday, or Friday. A lot of good football was played this week. One thing I gotta point out, man, did Justin Fields take a hit or did Justin Fields take a hit? Boy, one thing I gotta say, man, shout out to Justin Fields. That's the second time in the last 6 months I've seen him take a hit like that, where he just gets blasted. But he gets up. He gets up, and that's one thing that has always endeared me to him is he has that potential to really get back in the game and make some things happen. My early assessment, and it's just I got to point out that we always talk about surprises, guys that impressed you, surprised you, or showing you something. I got to jump right in tonight, man. And I got to say, man, early on, we like them already, but I'm in love with Zach Wilson. He's just, the way the ball jumps off his arm, bro. The way he just plays football, the way he has the different throwing angles, definitely in love with what he's doing and how he's making something happen out there. 2 touchdowns this week, but just looked efficient. Made some really, really good plays, did some really, really good things. And my God, man, just he got that swagger, bro.
Yeah, he do got it. He got the he got the headband hanging out the helmet.
I love it. Quan, who'd you have this week that kind of gave you a nice little something that surprised you a bit?
Hey, real quick, my son Jaden pointed out to me on that Justin Fields hit. He said, "I've never seen somebody get hit and their helmet falls off and their headband fell off." He got hit that hard. I'll tell you a player who surprised me, and it might be might not even matter because we know he's not going to start. But Mitchell Trubisky,
came out slanging it.
Mitchell Trubisky. Hey, he said, "Okay, I'm playing Bears. I don't care if it's preseason or not. You're gonna see me." He came out there. He
feels some type of way.
Bro, 20 of 28, 221, and a tug. Come on. Hey.
Yeah.
I like the way he played, but I will say this for the Bills, for the starting offense of the Bills, they still do not have a running game. That is going to be their Achilles heel. That they have no balance. Josh Allen cannot be your best runner. He cannot. So, so between Zach Moss, Devin Singletary only had 2 carries in the game.
Yeah.
Matt Breida, you guys remember him? He used to be a Niner. Matt Breida had 5 carries for 18 yards.
Formerly known as the Cheetah.
Right. Devin Singletary only had 2 carries. So I like they're gonna have to get it together, man. I don't know if is it their scheme. And CT, I don't know if you really paid attention to their scheme like that. I know you're our resident running back, but from what you have seen, do you think it's more scheme, talent? Maybe they don't have the offensive line is more like built to pass block more. Like what do you see? Because that's not good enough.
I think you're making a really good point there, and you kind of put me on skates for a second. Last year, I thought it was talent, but then I also have to think about who their quarterback is, right? This is somebody who can give you 4,000 passing yards, no problem. This is somebody that can give you 700-800 rushing yards potentially, but obviously from where he's standing, a lot easier to make those moves. The running back position with this particular team, not impressive, man. I think they should have kept Frank Gore. I'm gonna be honest with you, because they're not getting forward progress, and that's what Frank does best, even at this point in his career. I think it is a talent thing, to be honest with you. They haven't had anybody, explosive since Marshawn. You could say C.J. Spiller for a second, but they just haven't had anybody in a while.
I hated that you said that.
I know.
He was fast. Todd Gurley's out there. Do they go get Todd Gurley?
No.
Didn't he? Isn't he coming back to the Rams? I heard something about that. Because what's his name went down, so I heard they were looking at bringing Gurley back.
If they looking at it, it ain't a done deal yet.
Okay.
Hey, Greg has said something in the chat. What did he say, Pat? It went away.
He said, "Who's out there to go get Quan?"
As far as the Bills for running back?
Yeah.
AP still out there?
The thing is just
I'll take AP. I'm the Bills.
So Greg is talking about their scheme. I think it maybe is a scheme issue or so something's going on. Maybe the offensive linemen that they have are better suited to pass block, which we have seen other teams do that too.
Right.
Because it's just not clicking. So I wouldn't mind them bringing in AP because AP is going to bring some veteran leadership. He going to bring maybe even a little juice. AP's you never have to worry about AP's motor. So if he can come in and maybe light a fire under the young guys, I'll tell you right now, AP is definitely better than the 3 running backs who carried the ball for him today. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Reggie Gilliam, and Matt Breida. Yeah, you could definitely put AP on that roster for one of them.
What about you? CT? What was out there this weekend that kind of hit you with a surprise or a guy that kind of performed that really stood out to you?
I'm gonna stay within my position. Najee Harris. This, for me personally, I actually thought that this would be a year Pittsburgh kind of takes a downturn a little bit, but his game can allow them to stretch their run out a little bit longer. You know what I mean? He's Le'Veon but fresh. You know what I mean? It's hard to beat that, man, and I feel like that makes them contender in the AFC because they have a weapon like that. Juju's back. Washington's pretty good. You got Claypool? Defensively, I still like what they have on defense. They got a pretty dope tight end too. Overall, I think they got enough to get it done. So it's hard to rule them out this year. But Najee Harris is my guy, bro. Like, I just love the way he's playing. I wanted him, honestly, in the draft. I know, but it would have been nice. But yeah, I think he's just going to be a tremendous difference maker for the Steelers this year.
I got a question for you guys, and even for the field level family that's watching. Was it telling a bit that Tua threw the ball 23 times in a preseason game?
Telling?
Like you don't really see that with a starting quarterback week 2 of the preseason. Go out there and throw the ball 23 times. That's a game. Like, so for some guys, that is a game.
Right. Are we saying that, especially this early, it's not even a dress rehearsal. That might make sense for the dress rehearsal. But are we saying that he's competing with Brissett?
No.
And let me say this. Wait, Quan. Jacoby Brissett went 8 for 8 for 100 yards and a touchdown.
Okay. You have a point. The reason why I'm going to say it's not a competition because Tua, I think the thing last year that we saw was that Tua wasn't throwing confidently after remember his little 3-game winning streak he had, and they kept pulling him out to put Fitzpatrick in to win games through the air. I think they're just trying to just kind of maybe make sure we don't have to throw Brissett in. Tua can handle the load as far as throwing the ball when we need him to. Not just throwing the ball because we can, throwing it when we need to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the coaching staff trying to get a little bit of insurance. I don't think it's we need to do this to, have him and Brissett battle. No, I think Tua's the guy to start.
And Tua was, what was that, 16 of 23, 183 yards and a touchdown.
And that's, see, look, last year, those 60 completions would have been 103 yards. Now it's 183. That's the difference.
Definitely have a point about that. Quan, let's get to some Raider talk. How did you feel about the Raiders?
About time. I've been waiting for this.
Let's get it over with.
First, let's talk about the fight, man. Oh, what'd he say?
Let's get
it over with.
Oh, my. Hey, I've been listening to Niner Talk for the last 2 shows. I'm getting mine.
Fair.
Oh, snap. I messed something up here. All right. Let's start with the practice, the joint practice we did. We did it twice, right? The first day, it was a lot of jawing back and forth, especially between Derek Carr and Jalen Ramsey, just jawing at each other back and forth. Interesting. I want y'all to take on this after I talk about the Raiders. They had Jalen Ramsey moving a lot in the slot. I don't know what that.
He just moves around with whoever they think their guy is.
And they think it's Hunter Renfrow, right?
Yep. Yeah. He was following.
They don't have no one. So.
Hey man, he was getting done dirty by Renfrow too. But we'll say that for another day. Cause we talking about practice, and he might not go hard in practice. I'm gonna leave it alone. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there was a lot of jawing back and forth, and then carried over to the second day of joint practice, and that's when the big brawl broke out. One thing I like that we from the report that I read, we started the brawl.
So you were happy with it?
I was happy with it.
About that.
I was happy with it. I'm happy with it because, as you guys know, what the Raiders have always had that stigma of like being the bad team, right? The most penalized, maddest team, the almost angriest team. I don't want the penalties back, but I think that edge we lost in more recent years. So I think that we can get that back. Plus, we've seen enough games by the Rams. Being you guys are not a fan, we watch a lot of West Coast ball. We've seen enough of the Rams, especially Aaron Donald. He always ready to fight. Always.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey talk all day, so people be trying to fight him. Remember back AJ Green back in the day. So it's like, I think the fact that we didn't back down from that standpoint and we actually took it to them and we started the fight, that was great. And not to mention, we played at their home stadium, but it was really a Raider home game, so that was cool too. Now on the field, I thought no Derek Carr again. We're gonna save him for week 3. He'll for the last preseason game. He'll probably get a few series. I like the fact that Nate Hobbs, our 5th round pick out of Illinois, is playing really good. I think he pretty much secured the starting nickel job.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big deal. We haven't had a nickel corner in a long time. We tried to convert LaMarcus Joyner to nickel. That experiment didn't work. So I think we have a real nickel now. It was telling that John Gruden, he said he never gives game balls in preseason, but he gave one to Nate Hobbs after the Rams preseason game. So that pretty much solidified the deal there. Last thing I'll say is, just to cut it short for you guys, we have a lot of injuries at the linebacker position. So hopefully those guys can get healthy and we have no serious injuries. We did make a second call to KJ Wright, but we might bring him in to solidify something. But other than that, I think we look good, man.
No doubt. No doubt. I think one thing that was always interesting for me is, once again, Nate Peterman, all snaps.
Mariota had he has a quad strain, so Gruden said he's not ready to go.
I got TV on.
Who, me? I don't got the TV on.
Oh, that's CT. Oh, okay. I was like, we got the TV on.
He got a quad.
Nate Peterman took all the snaps, and then but then on the other side of the ball, Bryce Perkins took all the snaps for the Rams.
Yeah. Where's Wofford?
Something happened with Wofford. Like Wofford,
was he hurt last year?
Appendix burst. Something happened with Wofford with his
recently.
Health. Yeah, recently over like the last 3 or 4 weeks, something happened with him. I see, and I'm gonna touch on it. We'll touch on the Niners game in just a moment. I want to touch on that Raiders game really quickly. But I wanted to talk about what Greg just posted, where he said, "Will we all take on the Steelers fan fight video that's going viral right now?" If you haven't seen it, I'll just give you a brief synopsis. Black guy, white lady, jawing back and forth. Apparently, the white lady touched him. He kind of pushes his hand on and says, "They don't touch me." She ends up slapping him in the face. After she slaps him in the face, he instinctively, it looks for me like he was getting ready to hit her, but then he caught himself and was like, "No, your man right there, bro, about to catch these hands." He ended up knocking dude out in the chair, and then she kept hitting. So I think she caught like 1 or 2 straight rights.
She definitely caught too.
And I'm not laughing because I never condone a man putting his hands on a woman, but in this particular position, I don't know. What do you do? I mean, it's a situation like that. I'm not here to debate boxing, but it's just a situation where you could tell the man, he stepped back, analyzed the situation, realized it was a woman, and fired on the dude. And I think that's the best thing that you can do in that situation.
For sure.
And such as life. Go Steelers. Wave the terrible towels. Anyway, San Francisco 49ers. Most recent game to go. I see what you put on Facebook, Quan. I see what you commented on, Quan. I got the tag, Quan.
I bet you did.
I said this last, but you know what though, Quan, to my defense, let's be honest, I said this last week. The 49ers wide receivers, what did I give them? I said they were terrible last week for me.
Yeah,
they didn't do well at all last week for me. And I think it carried over. My personal opinion. One, I absolutely hated Tim Ryan's call of this game. Tim Ryan called this game so terrible, it made me upset.
Really? I like Tim Ryan. I didn't check it out yet.
Listen to the call. Like, he blamed everything on the quarterbacks. Every drop was the quarterback's fault. And I was like, come on, bro. Maybe I'm old school, Quan, CT, but growing up, they always told me, if you put two hands on the ball, you got to catch it.
You got to catch it. If it touch these, it got to be a catch.
Absolutely.
It got to be a catch. And literally every interception that was thrown, was two interceptions, one by Jimmy Garoppolo, one by Trey Lance. Jimmy's was a little bit higher, but it went off of both of Brandon Ayuk's hands. It fell into the hands of Asante Samuel Jr. Then the other one was
it was Trey Lance on I believe it was a slant to Sanu, right?
To Sanu. Went off of both of Sanu's hands. Interception. Also hit Debo right here on the back shoulder on a crosser. He hit him here on the back shoulder, but both hands hit the ball. Dropped that one as well. We got to fix that. We got to fix that. You know, if I'm running right, the ball hits me here, even though it's a bad throw by standard, it's a bad throw. But if I get both hands on it right here, I got to catch that ball.
Yep.
If I add, you know, my receiver coach at CSM told me two things. If the ball hits you in both your hands, it got to be a catch. And sometimes it ain't going to be perfect, but if both hands get on it, you have to do what they call bail your quarterback out, because your quarterback is worried about a lot more than you are as the receiver.
Facts.
So if it's in your vicinity, even if it ain't a good ball, if you get hands on it, you got to bail them out. You got to.
I think, and I see what you're saying here, John. John says Trey almost had a few interceptions both weeks under pressure. Absolutely, almost had a bad one today that was dropped. But I want us to get to a place where, because I don't know if it's the recent uptick in how great rookie quarterbacks have been as of late, you also have to kind of temper your expectation and let people know this guy's a rookie. He's a rookie quarterback in the NFL that did not play last year. Played one game last year.
Right.
It's like, come on, y'all. Like, let's temper it down just a tad bit. Not to mention he's learning one of the most complex offensive schemes in the NFL that you have to read. And it's let's temper it down a little bit. At the end of the day, today I believe he was 8 for 14, 102, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's
still good.
It's a solid day in the office, on top of the fact that I think he ran for like 20-some yards too. So he kind of opened up a little bit today, showed some stuff, did well. That receiver room is still a huge issue. The fact that there were only 2 running backs available today worries me. I didn't like that.
Oh, Lord.
Are they available by coach's choice or injury?
So something was going on with Mostert. He had like a little tight something. Jeff Wilson isn't there. Wayne Gallman and Hasty were the only 2 that played.
Sermon didn't play?
Sermon, they said Sermon was working through some little nicks. Elijah Moore has an adductor issue. So that I don't like that. With all the running backs we have in that stable, 2 were available. Did not really like that a lot. Wayne Gallman was better this week than last week for me, personally. Was able to better doing his job. Diamador Lenore, yeah. If you guys need another nickel, we got a couple of them, Quan. Because Diamador Lenore is starting to really show himself to be, you know, a baller. Trent Sherfield again jumped out.
That's your guy.
That is my guy. He's that.
That's your guy, Steve. That's your guy.
Ambry Thomas worries me still.
Rookie. Takes time. Takes some time. He's just not as instinctive as Lenore. And Ambry did a lot more in college in that sense too, so he can be using a lot.
Can I say Marcel Harris jumped a little bit at linebacker today?
He jumped a lot. He has lately.
What about you? See what you see in that game?
I was spotty. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I plan on watching it either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm excited about that. Shout out to YouTube TV for letting me pause that joint. But
Yeah.
I didn't know about the running back situation. That is worrisome for sure. I didn't expect Mostert to play. I know they had a nice few days practicing with the Chargers, which is really what I cared more about, more so than this game. I think the practices were a little bit more telling. And I sent you guys a little clip, of Trey asserting himself and starting to run, with the ball in his hands. I think that proved what I was talking about last week, him being held back, not doing as much initially in that first game. And you'll start to see as he gets more and more comfortable with the offense, Kyle's going to start allowing him to do a lot more. But I love what I saw. I saw his 2 touchdown passes today. I love that he battled through adversity. We've been sitting here talking about, I guess giving overbearing expectations for these rookies. And I believe that we got to get past that. We got to stop saying he needs to be perfect. He needs this. I love what Kyle said. Kyle said, I want the good and the bad because I want him to learn and experience it. And, I kept hearing, I was getting text messages. He's struggling. And then he comes out and finishes pretty well. So, I need him to have that adversity. I need him to get that out. He had some throws last week that probably could have been picked. At least he got that pick out the way now. It's less for him to think about at that point. He just needs to learn and continue to just play ball. And I feel like that's really the growth part for him. I haven't watched every snap, so I'm not sure how the line looked today. It wasn't brought up, so maybe it wasn't that bad. But
he got sacked twice. But
okay.
the one of the sacks, it was definitely his fault. He held onto the ball a little long. He had Richie James in the flat. So one sack I'll give, his fault.
Oh,
but the other one,
okay.
not so much.
But I mean, if you look at what they were doing defensively during the practices, man, the defense was coming along. All pro Fred, Greenlaw, D Ford going crazy. It just looked really good to see, our pass rush looking like it's coming back somewhat without Nick Bosa even right now. So just excited to see them develop. And these practices were telling for me personally. I'm not even tripping off the game.
No doubt about it. I got a question as we get ready to wrap up tonight's show. Next week is the last preseason game of the year.
Dress rehearsal.
Right? Give me one player off of your team that makes the team that we might not know about.
Who's first?
All right, I'll set it off since y'all gonna put a gun in my head. Sheesh. One thing I'll say is that I think personally, which I would have never believed earlier in this year, but I think Travis Benjamin makes the team. Did not think that earlier this year. Richie James for sure getting cut out of there. But I believe that Travis Benjamin, all 116 pounds of Travis Benjamin, will make the 49ers roster. And I'm interested to see how that looks. Might I say, how Clinton Dix had a good game today?
Well, we would expect that as a veteran, right?
Yeah. I know some veterans that don't look that good.
Yeah, but true. But he's a Pro Bowl veteran. He's been he was up here for a minute, little minute.
Yeah, John. I'm done. I'm done with Jalen Hurts. I'm over it.
That's understandable.
I'm over it.
Nah, I thought y'all was the main one saying he was gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can't do it unless you're out there, and he ain't out there.
Yeah.
So. But I think that's why Travis gets it. His availability.
Come on, man.
That is true.
Quan, who making the Raiders, man, that we don't know too much about?
He just got injured in the Rams game, but I'm gonna act like the injury's not serious, and he'll actually be on the roster, not like IR roster, but roster. I'm gonna say Javin White. Javin White is a linebacker who was undrafted last year. Huh?
You've been talking about him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was undrafted out of UNLV last year. He was on the practice squad all year, and he put on some weight because he played safety at UNLV. Now he's here, and in the game before he got hurt in the Rams, he had two tackles and two PBUs. guarding slot receivers at linebacker, which is great. He used to be a safety, so he got the coverage ability. So he was playing really well. He was in a lot of our sub packages. So I think he makes the team this year for sure. 1 year on the practice squad makes the team. Hopefully he recovers and his injury's not too serious.
No doubt. CT, who you got?
Kind of a surprise, but I think very feasible. I think Charlie Warner gets cut, and I think Jordan Matthews makes the team as a tight end.
Can I tell you he didn't even play today?
Yeah, because they're getting him ready. They've seen enough.
All right. I'm gonna let you have it. Who we got? Greg said KJ Osborne might make our receiver corps for the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, I forgot Greg was a Vikings fan. Greg, I got a question for you, so hopefully you type back fast. Was I tripping, or was Cam Dantzler not the starting corner this week, and it was somebody else? Because that somebody else was number 21 or 21. He had a couple of pass breakups and a pick. And then in the second defense, I seen Cam Dantzler out there. When Cam Dantzler was the starter along with Pat Peterson. So please update me on that because I like Dantzler. So what's going on in Minnesota?
Minnesota having problems. Cam had a good game. Just want to put it before we were ready.
Hey, happy about that.
Not as good as Mac Jones, though.
Right. It's the Field Level Football Podcast of the West Coast, man. You can follow us on Instagram at the Field Level. Follow us on Twitter at the Field Level 1. Greg says 21 was Brashard Breeland. Is that you said Breeland?
Oh, well, if that's the case, Cam Dantzler not starting it. I'd start Pat Peterson and Brashard Breeland right there.
Right. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Field Level 1. Follow us on Twitter. Following us on Instagram at the Field Level. It goes down, as you can see. We had some good conversations last week. Make sure you're tuned in to us to get those interactions going throughout the week. You know, like I always say, talk to us, we talk back. It's the Field Level. Quan, CT, any final words tonight?
Hey, man, just tap in with us on social, man, because as soon as we get off this, we finna go back in. We're going to have that fan interaction. Oh, and also starting 2 weeks, we're going to have some fan engagement. So we're going to have some of y'all to come on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, already. And you already know, starting week 1, we go back to them pick 'em segments. You know what I mean? You got to have them right. Pick 'em. We're going to get it going. We're going to take the game. We're going to take some games and pick them up.
CT, you starting the fantasy league this year? Where we at?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm really excited that you said that, Quan, because we know how you feel about fantasy. So
right.
I
you
appreciate
always
you saying that.
about the fantasy football.
I need my get back. That's why I need my get back.
I don't think there's a such thing for you, brother.
We're going to put it out there. Hey, make sure that you guys go on Facebook and follow the Field Level family. Be a part of that group so you can get all of the inside information. Greg, for sure you're going to be on here. For sure, 100%. So make sure y'all on the Field Level family page so we get that fan engagement. And that's where all of our information is. If you ever want to know when the Fantasy Football League starting, Field Level Family Facebook. All right, so make sure you're on there. Pat, Quan, CT. It's the Field Level Football Podcast of the West Coast.
Every week, catch it freshest on your TV. Field Level Football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field, running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day, and I just got the call. Reduction over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a